Hello universe, welcome to my world. Today when we do our Angelina Jordan video, we're doing something different. We're going to look at the nature of live performances because often you can really tell how good a singer is by how they perform live. Ideally, we would be focusing on the difference between a studio performance and a live performance. But we're going to have to stretch it today. We're going to look at a combination of studio performances and live performances and practices and TikTok, just to get an overview of how Angelina Jordan performs. Very tricky doing a live performance because you don't have the studio editing and you don't have all the imperfections ironed out. I remember in 1977 hearing a concert in Earl's Court, and the singer did not hit a right note the whole evening. I'm going to be very diplomatic for a change and not mention the singer's name, but it can be very hit and miss when you go to a concert. Let's have a sample of some world famous live performers who knock it out of the park every time. First, we will hear what is, some would say, the best live band in the world, and they're called the Rolling Stones. They've been around a long time. This performance is from 2015. They've been together now 50 years, and in this performance, Mick Jagger is 72 years old. I hope all of us at the age of 72 have half the energy that he has here. At the very start of their career, Crosby, Stills and Nash in 1969 performed at Woodstock. They were virtually unknown then, but this one performance made them a supergroup. This was before Neil Young joined the group, and this is a phenomenal live performance at Woodstock in 1969.
It's getting to the point where I'm no fun anymore. I'm sorry. Sometimes it hurts so badly I must cry out loud.
We're going to listen to 5 different Angelina Jordan songs, each one being a different combination. First one, Someone You Loved, is her final performance from America's Got Talent. And in addition to that, we will hear her practice just before the final performance. It's remarkable how similar these two performances are. I can listen to them and not hear any difference at all. You do have to bear in mind that in the practice, the room echo is becoming a factor. And there's something else going on. Sometimes we talk about the pros and cons of whether you should listen to a singer, especially Angelina Jordan, just for the audio, or whether the visual is a very important accompaniment. This performance, Angelina Jordan is sharing the stage with a live painter as well as a young violinist. And I believe this is an unfortunate combination of events because it does take the spotlight away from Angelina Jordan's voice, where you are actually distracted in a way that you would not be distracted if Angelina Jordan were on the stage on her own. Let's listen to Angelina Jordan's live performance and then a rehearsal just beforehand.
This all or nothing really got a way of driving me crazy. Now need somebody to hear, somebody to know, somebody to have, somebody to hold. It's easy to say, but it's never the same. I guess I kinda like the way you numbed all the pain. This all or nothing really got a way of driving me crazy. I need somebody to hear, somebody to know, somebody to have, somebody to hold. It's easy to say, but it's never the same. I guess I kinda like the way you numbed all the pain.
Next, we will be hearing from Angelina Jordan, age 12, singing Amy Winehouse's Valerie. This is a very famous video, and all of us Angelina Jordan fans know it well. It was recorded on the beach in Venice, California, and we will intersperse it with a performance that she did with the same video, with a video overlap of her performing it in Norway, also age 12. And the only way you can tell the difference is by the difference of the musical background. Otherwise, the vocal is absolutely identical. It's amazing how similar the two vocals are. And then we will hear Angelina Jordan doing Valerie 3 years later, 2021. And by now, her tone is richer. Her version is more jazzy. She's much freer with her vocals. And we will find this again with her more recent TikTok performances. They are jazzy and more improvised and just even richer than before.
But sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water and I think of all the things what you're doing, and in my head I paint a picture. But sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water and I think about all the things of what you're doing, and in my head I paint a picture.
It must be so difficult singing a cappella because you don't have the backup and support of the music. And it's another really, really acid test of how good a singer is. Next, we will be hearing Adele's When We Were Young. We have 5 different performances by Angelina Jordan. The first 2 are from the summer of 2019. The first one is in a concert, and then we're hearing her performing on Instagram with her Norwegian guitarist Egil Clausen. Again, they're so similar. She is so consistently wonderful with her performances.
Everybody loves the thing you do, from the way you talk to the way you move. Everybody here is watching you, 'cause you feel like home. You're like a dream come true.
We have 3 more performances of this song. All 3 are on TikTok. The first one is also from 2019. And then we hear 2 performances from 2021. The first one from 2021 is her walking down the street, again being very jazzy with a much freer interpretation. And then we hear her actually in a movie house performing on the piano.
Everybody loves the thing you do, from the way you talk to the way you move. It was just like a movie. It was just like a song. My God, this reminds me of when we were young. Let me photograph you in this light in case this is the last time. Yeah, we might be exactly like we were before we realized we were scared of getting old and made us restless. It's just like a movie.
The last 2 songs we will be hearing I consider to be the twin peaks of Angelina Jordan's career over the last 10 years. First, we will be hearing Bohemian Rhapsody, probably her most well-known song, which, as Howie Mandel said, changed her career virtually overnight. Many, many things to say about this song. It's phenomenal, it's original, it's creative. But there's something which is not mentioned very much about this song. If you look at Angelina Jordan singing this song compared to almost every other song she sings, she goes into a trance. She talks about going into her other world. And if you look at her while she's performing, I would say that she is totally in the zone. She is unaware of time and space. It is almost like in front of an audience of thousands. She is meditating within herself, and she is reaching down and giving the performance of her life.
Anywhere the wind blows doesn't really matter to me.
And next, we will hear Angelina Jordan singing Bohemian Rhapsody just 3 or 4 months before her version of Bohemian Rhapsody went out on America's Got Talent in January 2020. It was actually recorded in the November, and this rehearsal was actually from July of 2019. If I remember correctly, Agiel speaks about how nothing was planned, everything was improvised. They would sit around saying, oh, do you know this song? Do you know this song? And if they knew a song in common, they would put it together and they would put it out and they would record it. I think that's what happened when they both discovered the new Bohemian Rhapsody. This may be the very first time that she sang it, and at the time there were no plans to perform this regularly and to make this one of the star songs of her catalog. If you look closely at Agiel while he's playing the guitar, to me he looks surprised and delighted at what he's hearing.
Mama, just kidding, man. We're gonna give him to say, pull my trigger now, we say, Mama, life has just begun.
Now again, we will hear in 2021 Angelina Jordan walking down the streets of California singing Bohemian Rhapsody. Again, she's freer, she's more jazzy, her tone is richer. It's so ironic. People travel halfway around the world in order to hear Angelina Jordan sing. And here someone can just be leaning out of their front window or walking down a side street and hear Angelina Jordan singing.
Anywhere the wind blows doesn't really matter to me. Too late, my time has come, sending shivers down my spine, body's aching all the time.
And the other massive peak of her career is I Put a Spell on You. We're going to listen to 3 versions. There's, of course, the famous black and white version, which many say this is the best 9-year-old performance ever. And we're interspersing that with her performance aged 11 in Korea in April 2017. And if you just listen to those 2 performances together, it's very hard to separate them. They sound so identical. It is amazing how similar they sound. In addition to that, we also hear her singing Age 11 in Norway. We will intersperse these 3 performances so you can get the continuity and the smoothness of how similar her quality is all the time.
I put a spell on you because you're mine. Stop the thing you do. I ain't lying. Yeah. Don't run no, put me down.
thing to do. Hey, what's up? I ain't lying. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you anyhow. I don't care if you don't want me. I'm yours right now.
And when we hear the end of a performance, we will hear the same line in all three versions. It's very interesting because when she sings the word care, In the first version, the black and white, she sings that word much fuller and richer and longer. But in the next two versions, when she reaches that word care, she sings that word much more tenderly. She's made a different choice when she's come to that word. Very interesting.
I don't care if you don't want me.
I don't care if you don't want me.
I don't care if you don't want me.
I think this is a really good way of telling exactly how good Angelina Jordan is as a singer. She is consistent. Every performance sounds virtually identical, whether it is a cappella or whether with a band or whether it's in the studio. She really, really is a phenomenal singer. We will continue to show why Angelina Jordan is a phenomenal singer. Okay, gang, I'm out of here. I'll catch you later. Bye.